A young vivacious girl who moved from India to England to study medicine and then moved to Gold Coast, Australia to pursue her dreams. Completely relying on her professional expertise in her armour, she achieved a number of extraordinary things in a very short span of time. As one of the founders of the Ampton Medical Centre, which provides a comprehensive and quality bulk billing healthcare solution to the local Gold Coast communities. Yes friends, I am so honoured and happy to welcome Dr. Tanya Unni on today's show as she shares her life journey, her success story, her dreams, her aspirations, her role models and also her out-of-the-box thinking straight from Australia. As Dr. Albert Einstein once said, only a life lived in the service of others is worth living. Well, this quote resonates and completely justifies with none other than Dr. Tanya Unni, who is the current practicing general practitioner and the director of Ampton Medical Centre Group. Well, Dr. Tanya Unni, first of all, I would like to welcome you on Women Influencers Talk Show. Dr. Tanya, my first question to you is that from being a general practitioner to starting Ampton Medical Centre, which is one of the largest privately owned medical centres on Gold Coast, what was the idea behind this venture?
Hi, I'm Dr. Tanya Unni. First of all, from being a young doctor and traveling to England, the idea was to actually be really good at diagnostics and be really good clinician and nothing more than that at all. Owning a business, starting something new was never on my idea or thoughts or dreams at all. So really, it all started from migrating from England after doing the training to Australia. And in the first 3 months, things really changed for me, and I'm really grateful that change was really positive. I was very uncomfortable in where I was, the job I was doing, so that kind of gave me the opportunity to think beyond or look for other options to actually address the stress or the tension that I was going through. So that was the only reason why I got into the first medical center, that is within the first 3 months of landing in Australia. So basically dived into it. So yeah, the next part of the question I believe is what's the idea behind the new venture or having all these clinics. Really, it is just one thing led to another. So started off the new clinic knowing absolutely nothing, no idea about the tax systems or council systems or owning business, no idea, because I'm basically just a doctor, very technical person and don't have much experience in any other field. But it did give me, being a single-handed doctor, gave me a lot of confidence. Because I had to learn everything the hard way. So starting from how we used to do like a traditional paper system to completely I changed to computer system. So starting from that to reception, the nursing side, running the whole thing, it did give me a lot of confidence. So we started exploring into the area, the opportunities, and yeah, so that's how one thing led to another, and then we expanded on the number of medical center. The reason why we did that is because we wanted to create an atmosphere, a place where people would be welcome and feel comfortable and being looked after, because we want to provide what we would like to receive, right? So when you walk into a medical center, everything is beautiful and it's well presented. We were received with happy smiles, but it is completely of no cost to the patient. It is bulk billed. So that's experience that we want to give, the world-class experience, a world-class experience of a private clinic, but it is completely free, completely bulk billed for the patient. So that was the concept behind starting M10, and then we expanded on the concept into developing few other centers as well.
That's just amazing. In fact, due to the pandemic, a lot of people have become really conscious about their health, but then what worries them is the dent on their pockets. But I'm sure Ampton Medical Center is definitely a respite, especially to the people of Gold Coast. Dr. Tanya, you are also known for your out-of-the-box thinking. Please share your most out-of-the-box idea moment.
It's a very interesting question. Out-of-the-box thinking. I don't particularly think that I purposefully go and think, oh, I need to think differently and I have to come up with different idea. It doesn't, it's really not like that for me at all. I don't know whether it is out of the box. What I do know is I'm a problem solver. I've always been like that as a child. You know, I've grown up with a lot of life experiences, good and bad, which gave me a lot of exposure to different things. And also during the journey as a child, I was actually into the other field of media. I was into movies, a lot of dancing and competitions and things like that. So I was always exposed to different aspects of life and even my personal life as well. So that gave me the ability to think laterally and also putting myself in other people's shoes. And so perhaps that kind of helps. So what is the out-of-the-box moment? Maybe what I could say is, as I said before, I would like to call myself like more of a problem solver, kind of like a fixer, I become like a real mummy to want to fix everything, you know, like most women are, you know, we want to fix things, fix problems in the world. So one of the moments I would say is that recently we had the COVID pandemic was announced last year, and then we did have like few cases on the Gold Coast. So we really needed to actually think differently because the patient numbers were dropping. There were problems in addressing the safety as well. So there was a lot of things, like starting from how people come into the clinic, how they have been, how our staff will be exposed to, and also the doctors could be at risk as well. So these things were to be addressed. So on top of that, the anxiety from patients, the anxiety that the doctors and the staff has. So it was really complicated. So what effect has this got on business? Huge, because it does affect the business. You know, in reality, we would have thought that medical is a recession-proof business, but COVID pandemic has really proved us all wrong, because that became kind of the hotspot or the center of the problem. So what we did was that we immediately, within 2 weeks, we started off on the 24-hour call line, telephone call line, and so whereby patients could call and we could offer telehealth or virtual consultation, so the patient don't have to come. So that was one thing we did. We were one of the first, perhaps even in the country, to start off with flu vaccinations while the patient is in the car, so they don't have to come to the clinic. We go to them in the car park. Number 3, we did like infection. If anyone has got cold or cough or anything like that, we go to them in the car park rather than them coming over inside the clinic and putting everyone at risk. So these were the quick ones, along with the telehealth consultations that we rolled out into action. From actually thinking about it into action was within 2 weeks, which was like, I don't think we would have done that before if we didn't have this pressure. The only other thing, other moment I would imagine probably would be out of the box thinking, would be having a drive-through clinic. So again, we had like few cases on the Gold Coast where we are, and we had to make sure that our patients were screened quickly. So the traditional way of going inside a center and getting checked was not something that we were quite comfortable with. So we had to come up with something which is more clever and also risk free or reduced risk. So we introduced something like drive-through COVID testing, which was phenomenal. The response was absolutely amazing. So we had, like, in one day we had hundreds and hundreds of cars queuing up, especially those times where we did have the positive cases. So yeah, there's probably, you could say, those are the out of the box idea moments.
Well, that's outstanding. You know, this year of pandemic has brought into light so many new innovations and so many different ideas that we thought never existed. So we can say that necessity is the mother of all inventions. Now here I would like to ask you, how has this pandemic affected your business, and how, as the director of Ampton Medical Center, you have coped with this situation?
Okay, so pandemic. Beginning of 2020, like this time, like last year, was a complete different scenario for us altogether. We were in Dubai. We were actually going to do a lot of international business. We had bigger dreams. So we thought, okay, 2020, we are going to do a lot of fantastic things. But things were not quite right for all of us around the world. So our business from the products and the beauty, cosmetic, lifestyle, health business from an international training perspective had to be completely put on hold for the entire year, and we have to restart it. So that was a big change, and that's something that we didn't expect because we were all set to go. Number two, with the running of medical centers, you know, who would have thought medical business, which we all believe was recession proof, would be one of the worst, one of the ones that could be hit really badly. So that was the one thing that we had to cope. So in our business, we have got different aspects that we got to think about. One is the patient, very important, the patients. Secondly, our team of people, like our staff, we have to look after their safety, their mental health, and also we have to support their living as well. So we would so patients really important. Number two, our team. So starting from the reception people who actually receive the patients, where they take the history, do the screening, and of course the doctors, because they are one-on-one inside the room. So the safety was the primary important thing. So we had to find ways of how we cope it. So that number two is actually the reduction of number of people coming to the business itself was a worry. So we have to have a balance. So we have got team of people that we got to look after, the doctors who are anxious about their safety and their income, and the general safety of the public. So these were different implications of what COVID did. So how did I cope as a director? Well, you know, we're all in it together, right? So whether we are with the director or the doctor or the receptionist, we are all in it together. So we just have to just cope with it every day as it comes.
So true. It's how you mold yourself and your skills to the present situation and be productive and helpful. Dr. Tania, I would like to take you back to the times when you came to Australia. So what ideas and dreams came with you?
When I left India, it was mainly to go to England to do my post-graduation studies there, and from there gain as much as knowledge as I can, be a good clinician, do really good in diagnostic. That was all. This business idea was never in the picture at all. So it only started, like one thing grew, from one started, and then we saw opportunities, and it rolled out into what it is now. And nothing was planned. I would say I'm somebody who would, the action speaks louder than words. So our action leads to our dreams. So when you do something, okay, then it feels right, and you can see the effect, then okay, we go ahead and build on it because we feel it works. So it's not about I'm sitting and dreaming about I'm going to actually create this many centers and have this many team. It isn't anything like that. It's just it was meant to be, and I'm really happy how it's turned out to be.
Sure. Now, since we are talking about your yesteryears, I would like to take you further down the line and ask you about your childhood. How was it like? And if you have to change something about it, what would it be?
To be honest, I'm someone, as a person, I don't like to say that I regret about anything that I do in my life. Everything that we do, every experience that we get, it is all a learning experience. So I wouldn't want to change anything from my childhood. Really looking back, all the things that we had gone through, all the things that I've gone through as a child has all helped me to be who I am, whether it's good or bad. I'm not saying I'm the brightest or the best person in the world, but whoever I am, I'm happy with what I am. And if I can't control things, I have no regrets.
That's wonderful. Dr. Tanya, your positive attitude and optimism proves that despite humble beginnings of your career, today you have built an assorted medical empire consisting of medical centers, cosmetic centers, cardiology centers, radiology centers, and a number of cosmetic products within a span of few years. Dr. Tanya, I can describe you in a number of good adjectives, but I would like to ask you, how would you describe yourself in 3 words and why?
I would say I like to take up challenges. I am receptive, I'm open to ideas. I'm always looking to solve problems. So love to take challenges. Always looking for problems and solutions, and want to help people.
That's great. Now here I would like to add that Dr. Tanya has enticed a number of immigrants from all across the world to come to Australia and call Gold Coast their home. Isn't that just amazing? Dr. Tanya, I would like to ask you here that where do you see Ampton and more specifically yourself in the next 20 years?
Very tricky question, because like I said, when we started off this journey, we never planned any of this. And if you ask me where do you see myself after 20 years? I don't know, and I don't want to know. I just like to live in the moment. I like to live each day as it comes. Of course, I do make plans and I do have goals and aspirations, but 20 years to me is a long time. I'm just happy and grateful for the life that we all have right now. You know, we are safe, healthy. That itself is enough for us.
That's true. One should definitely live in the moment. Now, you are a very proud recipient of many awards like Osmompreneur Award, Gold Coast Business Excellence Award, and many more. How much hard work and dedication went into your years to reach this point?
Hard work. I've always been a hard worker. I know it sounds a bit funny, but it is kind of normal for me to be busy at all times, right from a very young age. So I don't consciously put in a lot of work. It probably comes naturally as a type of person I am. I like to be busy. So maybe it's a bit bordering on crazy, but I just love to be busy, and I love to feel that I'm being useful for the people around me, and I'm useful for the community around me, and I'm useful for somebody out there. So it's not so much the hard work, it's not a conscious effort that I put in at all. I just follow what I really believe. I just follow what I'm really passionate about, and the rewards and awards and recognition and all those things, that just follows. I don't work hard to achieve it. I'm not chasing it, or I'm not working towards getting it. It is, if it happens as a result of what I do and what I'm passionate about and what I believe in, then that's wonderful. I would just take it and receive it with I would take it as a blessing.
It is such a pleasure to talk to you, Dr. Tanya, and I'm getting to know so much more about you through this interview. I would like to ask you here, every success comes with challenges and risks. Did you ever feel that you had to make any sacrifice sometimes to balance between your professional and personal life?
Yes, absolutely. Being a business owner, being an entrepreneur, multi-award winner, it sounds really fancy, it sounds really great, but the amount of hard work that you put in to do what you're passionate about is a lot. I would say that up until that that I had my two beautiful children, I don't think much of it, because it was like, if I have to go somewhere, it's like you take the car keys, purse, shoes, and off I go out of the door into the car and get to where I have to get to. But now, of course, things are different. I have to manage the whole logistic. I have to manage the whole household, plan everything for the kids and my husband and the work and everything around the house. My husband is incredibly supportive, but there are things that probably as a woman you like to take control, and you like to do it the way, especially with children and the upbringing and stuff. So there's a lot of sacrifices. So I'm trying. I don't think I have achieved a balance yet. I don't know whether there's a balance when you're actually working and a business owner, and you have these ideas and vision, and then still manage the house perfectly and be a perfect mother. I don't think none of us would reach that absolute balance. And if there is someone who reaches that balance, yeah, I would love to learn. But what I have done is I have started prioritizing things. So I look at what is the absolute important thing that I got to do. So that is my red thing. I have to do it. What is the one thing that I shouldn't have to waste my time on? I have started to not say no to it. So then I know, then I can filter the things that's really important, that it is essential for me to do, and the things that I'm not doing. So like that, so I started realizing I'm actually doing a lot of things that are not needed. I'm not needed. My time is not needed. Someone else can actually do a better job than I do. So things like that. And time that I spend with my children is absolutely important for me. So there are things that I'd like to do for them. I'd like to be there in certain times of their life for school and stuff. Yeah, so I wouldn't want to sacrifice that.
Sure. In fact, Dr. Tanya is seen by her colleagues as a very inspirational person, and a lot of people seek her mentorship as a recognized Gold Coast entrepreneur, a doctor, mother, and wife. Wow. Dr. Tanya, you wear so many hats, and that too with panache. Dr. Tanya, here I would like to ask you, as a very recognized and influential person, what advice would you like to give to all the young outgoing women of today?
My message to any girl out there who's listening to this is, follow your dream, follow your passion. Never look back and, don't be in a situation that years down the track, then you look back and think, oh, I wish I had done that at this time. I wish I had actually studied that at that time. I wish I had followed my passion. Please don't be in that situation. If you are really passionate about something and you really want to do it, it doesn't matter what time of what phase of life you are, where you are, it doesn't matter. Make it work. It will happen. So if you're really passionate about something, you will be surprised how things roll out and how things will work for you.
Very inspiring. Thank you so much for answering all those questions. Dr. Tanya, now I'm going to play a rapid fire round with you, and my first question to you is that what is that one food you have never eaten but would really like to try?
The food that I've never eaten I would love to try is pawa. It spells something like P-A-U-A. It's kind of like a sea snail. It's a real delicacy. I don't know whether I would stand it and eat it, but it sounds really fancy. So yeah, I want to try it.
Wow, this is the first time I'm hearing about this delicacy. All the very best, Dr. Tanya. Now my next question to you is that what advice would you like to give to a 16-year-old Tanya?
Yeah, the one piece of advice I would tell 16-year-old myself is that don't fear. If you're passionate about something, if you really want to do something, just do it. Don't worry. Don't think too much. It's okay. if there may be 5 people who would not agree with what you do, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. There'll be like 10 people who may not like you. It doesn't matter. What's more important is what you feel about yourself, how you look at yourself, and your feelings matter the most. So that would what I would say. You know, I was someone who would actually look at, you know, be worried about how everyone thought of me, what everyone thought of me, and try to be the perfect daughter and perfect friend and perfect student. So it's fine. We don't need to be perfect. We are not perfect, and we are not meant to be perfect.
I agree with you totally. Now, what is your motto in life?
My motto in life is try and be useful to another person around you. So be useful, be helpful to others, and that's my motto of life. So whether it's in business or in normal life, there has to be a reason and purpose of your existence, and if it's going to be helpful, and it has to be in benefit of something.
Wonderful. Now, what are the 3 things you would like to take to a desert island?
3 things, yeah. Number 1, phone. Number 2, water, and of course food.
Okay, you are a very practical and sensible girl. Dr. Tanya, what is that one thing that you would like to add in your bucket list?
On my bucket list, there are so many things on the bucket list. I don't even want to start. But the places I like to visit, oh my gosh, I want to travel again. I want to get over this pandemic and I want to travel. If I can travel, I really want to travel to Peru, Machu Picchu, and that would be the destination I really want to go. So hopefully we're all back to normal and can travel again.
Very well. Now, Dr. Tanya, with all the achievements to your credit, I would like to ask you, who is your favorite superhero and why?
My favorite superhero is my grandfather. I absolutely love and adored him as a little girl, and I still do. And why is he a superhero? Because he was, to me, as a little girl growing up, I looked up to him, and he was a doctor, and he was everything that I wanted to be in my life, and I'm proud and happy that I have followed his dream and I followed my dream and I've become a doctor. Why he's important, why he's special? Because he was the first person who taught me that you have to look at a person as they are and not by the religion, color or race. So I owe a big time for that, for those kind of big advice to a little girl that has I've taken it really seriously, and yeah, that's why I love him. And he's been always there for people. He used to give money to his patients, not take fees, but he would actually give money to people to buy medication and things like that. So these things, as a little girl, and you look up to someone, you know, he's definitely my superhero.
Well, now I can see it runs in the genes. So if you were given a 3-day break to rest, what would you like to do in these 3 days?
First of all, I would actually do nothing, and I want to enjoy the art of doing nothing. I would absolutely master it. The second thing, I would, if health isn't a problem, I'll just eat as much as I want, like all the sweet, dessert, ice cream, you name it, I will just binge. The third thing, listen to a lot of music and just look at a beautiful scene, beautiful scenery, and again, master the art of doing nothing.
Well, believe me, one day even I would like to indulge into this art of doing nothing, and I'm sure it will be blissful. Dr. Tanya, before we say goodbye to you, I would like to ask you, what are your thoughts about our show?
It is absolutely fantastic to, you know, be on this platform, to actually see all these things, that fantastic things that Sadaf is and her team organizing. It's very important for young women out there, women like us, to actually interact and get to know each other better. It's fantastic. Good job.
Thank you so much, Dr. Tanya, for those kind words, and believe me, it was such a pleasure talking to you today. Thank you so much for taking out time to come on our show, and we wish you all the very best in your future endeavors. And all you beautiful people, thank you once again for coming and watching our show. And if you are new here, please do consider subscribing to our channel, press the bell icon for future notification, comment below, like our videos and share our videos. Thank you so much for being a part of our community. So till we meet next time again, take care of yourself, stay healthy and always be happy.